of things when I'm taking a job. I question a lot of things at a job because at the end of the day, if your information that you're giving me is solid, then you have no problem explaining it. If you're giving me the best deal, if what you're doing is looking out for my interests, then you have no problem explaining why it is or modifying the deal so that I can accept it and appreciate it. Everything in life is a negotiation, but that's a topic for another day. So, one thing that Frederick Douglass taught me and inspired me and affirmed for me is product of my environment, right? Wrong. So many times people have said, I'm a product of my environment. I was born this way. I was raised this way. I have no choice. My mom was this way. My dad was this way. Frederick Douglass's mother was a slave. Frederick Douglass's brother was a slave. Sister, his grandmother was a slave. He was born into slavery. Yet, even at a young age, he knew, he felt it in his soul, in his spirit, whatever you want to call it, that he shouldn't be a slave. And that was inspiration. That was motivation, because people want to say, because you come from welders, that's the only thing that you should be able to ever do. Because you come from the medical, because your family was doctors and nurses, that's the only thing you should ever do. Why are you having dreams of being a billionaire? You think you're better than your grandma? You think you're better than your mom? I don't think I'm better than anybody, but you know what? I do have dreams and aspirations to go beyond. You know what? I'm so thankful for everything that they've done for me throughout my life, in my childhood, everything that they have laid the foundation for, that I'm going to build upon it for me and my next generation. I dare say, if the only thing you want to do is be just as good as your parents or grandparents, I say that you're not thankful to them. You should be better. You should go further. You should take the foundation that they broke their back to make and build upon it and make new foundations expand. So, I mean, also, you just have to understand, when you read this book, the struggle that it takes to birth something into. Man, I don't want to give it away. I don't want to go too deep into it, but man, it's such a great book. When he initially tried to escape from slavery, he tried to take other people with him, and some of them turned on him. And man, I was like, yeah, right there. Because there's so many people that had so much potential, so much intelligence. They're so much better than the people that I work with today. And that's no disrespect to anybody I work with. I love all of you guys who helped me out. But there are some people out there who are talented, even more talented than myself. And they just refuse to apply that talent. They refuse to harness it. They refuse to nourish it. They just didn't want to work hard. People who had natural charisma, people that other people were naturally gravitated to. I had to work at my magnitude, my magnetic energy to pull people toward me. And I have it now. But there are some people who I felt like were just gifted with it. And they didn't want to take advantage of it. They never have. And so at the end of the day, to escape, to be free, sometimes you have to leave some people behind that don't want to be free. There's some people who were slaves who didn't want freedom. They thought slavery was fine. It's good. Master's good. He's a good master. He's a good overseer. They would compare their masters to other masters. They would have these prideful boasts like, my master feeds me every day and he feeds me full, and so forth and so on. And to hear it nowadays, that just sounds crazy, right? Because it's still like, would you rather, you could be free. But it sounds another thing, kind of like what we go back to jobs. How we boast and brag, oh, my job is better than your job, or, so forth and so on. I'm not saying it's the same thing. I know it's apples and oranges. But again, it goes back to why they don't want us to remember. They don't want us to teach slavery so that they can reinstate it in some shape or form. Why would you do something yourself that you could get someone else to do for you? So that's my take. That's my spill on Frederick Douglass. Of course, I could never sum up or surmise his entire life, his entire movement, the abolishment that he did, his achievements in just one video. But this is a very instrumental character to me. I mean, for somebody to be born in the circumstances where he should have done nothing but surrender, the last thing he did was surrender. He was a very boisterous and rebellious person against those who looked to keep him in chains, and he also helped those who helped him. He was all of that you would think would make him a hard man or a disrespectful man, but nobody had anything but the utmost beautiful things to say about his character and his integrity. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. Be kind to one another. Keep me in your prayers. I'll forever keep you in mind. Endure, believe, rise.